The first time Kang Min-jae was told that money couldn't buy a woman's love, he laughed. Not because he thought the statement was funny, because he genuinely believed it was impossible. At 38, Min-jae was one of South Korea's most powerful billionaires. His name appeared on business magazines, television screens, luxury billboards, and financial reports. He owned hotels in Seoul, companies in Busan, apartments overlooking the Han River, and a private jet that could take him anywhere in the world before most people could finish packing a suitcase. People didn't tell him no. They negotiated. They didn't reject him. They reconsidered. And if they still refused, Min-jae simply offered more. More money, more influence, more opportunities, more power. Eventually, everyone seemed to have a price. Everyone except her. Her name was Han Soo-yeon. She wasn't famous. She wasn't rich. She didn't come from a powerful family. She didn't wear designer clothes or attend celebrity parties. She worked at a small community center in an ordinary neighborhood of Seoul, where she spent most of her days helping elderly people fill out paperwork, delivering food to struggling families, and tutoring children whose parents couldn't afford private lessons. Min-jae first saw her on a rainy Tuesday evening, and he didn't notice her because she was beautiful. He noticed her because she was standing in the rain arguing with his security team. "Please move the cars," Soo-yeon said. One of Min-jae's guards stared at her impatiently. "Miss, these vehicles belong to Mr. Kang." "I know. Then you should understand that you can't tell us where to park." Soo-yeon pointed toward the narrow street. "That delivery truck is carrying meals for the senior residents. Your cars are blocking the entrance." The guard sighed. "We'll move when Mr. Kang is finished." Soo-yeon looked toward the black luxury sedan parked in front of the community center. Inside, it sat Min-jae. He had been watching the entire conversation through the tinted window. He expected her to recognize the car. He expected her to become nervous. Instead, she walked directly toward it. His driver immediately locked the doors. Soo-yeon knocked once on the window. Min-jae lowered it halfway. "What do you want? Your car's moved." His eyebrows lifted. "Excuse me? The meals are waiting." Min-jae looked at her. She looked completely unimpressed by him. "Do you know who I am?" he asked. "Yes." "And you're still talking to me like that?" "I'm talking to you like a person who's blocking a road." For the first time in years, Min-jae didn't have an immediate answer. Soo-yeon turned away. "Please move the cars." Then she walked back into the rain. Min-jae watched her disappear through the community center doors. His driver looked into the rearview mirror. "Should I have the cars moved, sir?" Min-jae remained silent for several seconds. Yes. The cars moved. The delivery truck entered. And something about the woman who had ordered him around stayed in his mind. The next morning, Min-jae asked his assistant about her. "Han Soo-yeon," the assistant replied. 29. Works at the Han River Community Center. No criminal record, no significant assets. Lives with her mother. "How much does she earn?" The assistant hesitated. "About 32 million won a year." Min-jae frowned. "That's all?" "Yes." He leaned back. "Find out what she wants." His assistant understood immediately. "Money? Everyone wants something." 2 days later, Soo-yeon received an unexpected invitation. A luxury restaurant. Private dining room. No explanation. She almost threw the invitation away. Instead, curiosity made her go. When she entered the restaurant, Min-jae was already sitting at the table. He stood. "Miss Han, Mr. Kang, please sit." She sat across from him. A waiter poured expensive tea. Soo-yeon didn't touch it. "Why am I here?" Min-jae studied her. "I'd like to make a donation to your community center." Her expression softened slightly. "How much?" 500 million won. Her eyes widened. "That's generous. I can make it 1 billion. She looked at him carefully. "Why? Because I can." "That's not an answer. It doesn't have to be." Soo-yeon pushed the tea aside. "Is there something you want?" Min-jae smiled. "I appreciate direct people." "I don't." His smile disappeared, she continued. If you're donating because you want to help those people, I'll thank you. And if I'm not, then I won't accept it. Min-jae stared at her. You'd reject 1 billion won? If the money comes with a condition. There is no condition. There always is. He leaned forward. Suppose the condition is that you have dinner with me. No, 1 dinner. No, 5 dinners. No, 10. She stood. Mr. Kang, I came because I thought you wanted to help people. I do. Then help them without trying to buy me. She walked toward the door. Min-jae watched her leave. For perhaps the first time in his adult life, he felt something he couldn't explain. Not anger, not embarrassment. Something much more dangerous, curiosity. He wanted to know why she was different. So he began appearing at the community center. At first, Soo-yeon thought it was coincidence. Then he arrived again. And again. The billionaire who had never waited for anyone suddenly found himself standing in a crowded hallway, holding boxes of donated food. He was terrible at it. He dropped one box, then another. A group of elderly women laughed. One of them patted his shoulder. Young man, you're strong, but you're not very useful. Min-jae looked offended. Soo-yeon tried not to laugh. She failed. He looked at her. You think this is funny? A little. You're enjoying this. Very much. Something changed between them that afternoon. It wasn't romance, not yet. It was something quieter. Min-jae began seeing the world outside his skyscrapers. He met an old man who had worked 40 years, but still struggled to pay rent. He met a single mother who skipped meals so her children could eat. He met a little boy named Ji-hoon, who had no father and dreamed of becoming a doctor. And he saw Soo-yeon giving away the only lunch she had brought for herself. You haven't eaten, Min-jae said. I'm fine. You gave your food to him. He was hungry. So are you, she smiled. I can eat later. Min-jae looked at the empty lunch container. Why do you always do this? Do what? Put everyone else before yourself. She shrugged. Because someone once did it for me. That answer stayed with him. Weeks passed. Min-jae continued visiting. He donated money without asking for anything in return. He repaired the center's broken heating system. He paid for Ji-hoon's school supplies. He quietly covered medical bills for several elderly residents. But Soo-yeon still kept her distance. One evening, Min-jae finally asked her why. Do you dislike me? No. Do you distrust me? Sometimes. Why? She looked at him. Because you're used to people wanting what you have, and you don't? I want something from you. His heart skipped. What? She pointed toward the community center. Your attention. He looked confused. Not for me, she continued. For them. She stepped closer. They don't need another billionaire promising to save them. They need someone powerful enough to actually listen. Min-jae stared at her. And if I listen? Then maybe I'll believe you're more than your money. Those words hit him harder than any insult ever had. Because deep down, Min-jae realized he had spent his entire life becoming someone people admired without ever asking whether anyone actually knew him. Then came the night everything changed. A fire broke out in an old apartment building where several families from the community center lived. Min-jae was attending a business dinner when his phone rang. Sir, there's been an accident. He stood immediately. What happened? The apartment building near Mapo. Is Soo-yeon there? There was silence. Sir, is she there? Yes. Min-jae didn't remember leaving the restaurant. He didn't remember the drive. He only remembered the flames, the screaming, the smoke, and Soo-yeon standing outside the building, crying as she counted the children coming out. Where is Ji-hoon? She turned toward the burning building. He went back inside. Min-jae grabbed her arm. Where? 4th floor. I'll go. No, she tried to stop him, but he was already running. The smoke was so thick he could barely see. He climbed the stairs. 4th floor, 407. Ji-hoon. Nothing. Then he heard coughing. A small voice. Mr. Kang? Min-jae followed the sound. He found the boy trapped beneath a fallen wooden beam. Don't move. I'm scared. So am I. You are. Min-jae swallowed. Yes, but you're rich. Despite the smoke, Min-jae almost smiled. Money doesn't help much with fire. He lifted the beam with everything he had. Come here. Ji-hoon crawled into his arms. Min-jae carried him toward the stairs. Behind them, part of the ceiling collapsed. He shielded the boy with his body. And for the first time in his life, the billionaire who had believed he could buy anything understood the difference between possessing power and being willing to use it. When they finally emerged, Su-Yan ran toward them. She grabbed Ji-hoon first. Then she looked at Min-jae. His shirt was burned. His forehead was bleeding. He could barely stand. Su-yan's eyes filled with tears. You're hurt. I'm fine. You could have died. So could he. She stared at him. And in that moment, she finally understood. The man standing in front of her wasn't the billionaire from the magazines. He was the man who had walked into a burning building for a child who couldn't give him anything in return. Min-jae looked at her. For once, he didn't offer money. He didn't make a promise. He didn't ask for anything. He simply said, "Is everyone safe?" Su-yan nodded through her tears. Yes. Min-jae closed his eyes, and she reached for his hand. Not because he was rich, not because he was powerful, but because, for the first time, she had seen the man behind the money. And Min-jae realized that the one woman he couldn't win over with wealth had never wanted his wealth at all. The morning after the fire, Kang Min-jae woke up in a private hospital room. His head was bandaged, his right hand was wrapped, but the first thing he asked was not about his injuries. Where is Su-yan? His assistant looked surprised. She's at the community center. And Ji-hoon? Safe. His mother is with him. Min-jae slowly exhaled. Good. His assistant placed a folder on the table. Sir, there's something else. Min-jae opened it. Inside were photographs of the apartment building, insurance documents, and several reports. The building was supposed to have passed its safety inspection last month, his assistant explained. Min-jae's expression changed. Supposed to? The inspection records may have been falsified. Min-jae looked up. By whom? We're investigating. Investigate faster. His assistant hesitated. There is one more problem. What? The company that owns the building is connected to Chairman Kang. Min-jae froze. Chairman Kang, his own father, for years. Min-jae had built his reputation by distancing himself from his father's questionable business practices. But now the fire had connected his family directly to the people who had nearly killed innocent families. He closed the folder. Don't tell Su-yan yet. Sir, I'll handle it. That afternoon, Min-jae left the hospital against medical advice. When he arrived at the community center, Su-yan immediately noticed the bandage. You shouldn't be here. I'm fine. You always say that. Because I am. She crossed her arms. You're impossible, he smiled. You've said that before. I meant it this time. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Su-yan quietly asked, Why did you go inside? Min-jae looked at her. Ji-hoon was inside. You could have sent firefighters. There wasn't time. You could have died. I know. Her eyes became wet. You didn't even think about yourself. He looked away. I thought about myself. She seemed surprised. When I heard you screaming outside. Su-yan stopped breathing for a moment. Min-jae continued quietly. I realized that if something happened to you, money wouldn't bring you back. Those words changed the air between them. Su-yan looked down. Min-jae. It was the first time she had called him by his name. He noticed. She noticed that he noticed. Neither mentioned it. Then the community center doors opened. A sharply dressed man entered. 2 bodyguards followed him. Min-jae's expression immediately hardened. Father. Su-yan looked between them. Chairman Kang didn't acknowledge her. He looked directly at his son. You're coming home. No. This isn't a request. Min-jae stood. I said no. Chairman Kang's gaze moved towards Su-yan. So this is the woman, Su-yan frowned. What woman? The reason my son has forgotten his responsibilities. Min-jae stepped between them. Don't speak to her like that. His father's eyes narrowed. You're embarrassing this family. No. I'm investigating why families nearly died in a building owned by one of our companies. Silence. Chairman Kang's face changed. You don't know what you're talking about. I know the inspection records were falsified. You should be careful. Are you threatening me? I'm warning you. Min Jae stepped closer. Then here's my warning to you. His voice became cold. If anyone covered up that building's condition, I will expose them. Chairman Kang stared at him. Even if it destroys your own family? Min Jae didn't hesitate. Yes. His father turned and walked away. Soo-chan watched him leave. You just challenged your father. I've challenged him before. Not like this. No. Min Jae looked at her. Not like this. That night, Min Jae began investigating everything. He discovered missing inspection documents, payments to city officials, a construction company receiving contracts it wasn't qualified for, and one name appeared repeatedly, Director Choi, a senior executive inside Min Jae's own corporation. The next morning, Min Jae summoned him. Director Choi entered the office calmly. You wanted to see me? Sit. Choi sat. Min Jae pushed a file across the desk. Explain this. Choi looked at the papers. I don't understand. You signed the inspection approval. I don't remember. You signed it. Choi remained silent. Min Jae leaned forward. Who ordered you? Choi's hands began shaking. No one. Wrong answer. Suddenly, Choi's phone rang. He looked at the screen. His face went pale. Min Jae noticed. Answer it. Choi refused. Answer it. He finally picked up. A voice spoke from the other side. Min Jae couldn't hear the words, but he saw Choi's expression, fear. Then the call ended. Who was that? Min Jae asked. No one. Min Jae stood. You're fired. Choi looked shocked. You can't. I can. Min Jae pointed toward the door. And if I discover you've destroyed evidence, I'll make sure the police hear about it. Choi left. But before the door closed, he turned. You're making a mistake. Min Jae stared at him. What mistake? Thinking this is only about your father. The door shut. Min Jae stood completely still. Later that evening, Soo-yeon received an anonymous envelope. Inside was a photograph. It showed her standing outside the community center with Min Jae. On the back were 6 words. Stay away from Kang Min Jae. She stared at it. Her hands began trembling. She immediately called him. He answered. So, Yeon? Where are you? At the office. I need to see you. What's wrong? I'll tell you when I get there. 20 minutes later, she entered his office. She placed the photograph on his desk. Min Jae's expression darkened. Where did you get this? It was delivered to the center. He picked it up. When? An hour ago. Did anyone see who delivered it? No. Min Jae stood. You're going home. She shook her head. No, Soo-yeon, I'm not leaving. You don't understand. I understand enough. She pointed at the photograph. Someone is watching me. Min Jae's jaw tightened. That's why you need protection. I don't want bodyguards. You don't get to decide that. Actually, I do. He stared at her. She stepped closer. I won't disappear just because someone wants me to. His expression softened. That's exactly what I'm afraid of. She looked into his eyes. You care about me. He said nothing. Min Jae, still nothing. Do you? He finally answered. More than I should. Her heart skipped. Before she could respond, his office lights suddenly went out. The building fell into darkness. Then came the sound of glass breaking somewhere down the hallway. Min Jae immediately grabbed Soo-yeon's hand. Stay behind me. Another sound. Footsteps. Someone was coming toward the office. Min Jae moved toward the door. Soo-yeon whispered, Who is it? I don't know. The door handle slowly turned. Min Jae reached for the emergency phone. Then the door burst open. A man rushed inside. Min Jae fought him. The struggle lasted only seconds. The attacker escaped through the emergency stairwell. But something had fallen from his jacket. A small black access card. Min Jae picked it up. His face went pale, because it wasn't an outsider's card. It belonged to Kang International, his own company. Soo-yeon looked at him. Someone inside your company is trying to scare me. Min Jae closed his fist around the card. No. He looked toward the dark hallway. They're trying to scare me. And somewhere inside the building, someone was already watching them. Someone who knew exactly how much Soo-yeon meant to him. Someone who knew that money had failed to win her heart. And now they had discovered the one thing that could break the billionaire who had always seemed impossible to defeat. The black access card sat in Kang Min-jae's palm. For several seconds, he said nothing. Soo-yeon watched his face. She had never seen him look this frightened before. Not angry, not powerful, frightened. Min-jae? He finally looked at her. You're coming with me. Where? Somewhere safe. I don't want to run. This isn't about running. Then what is it about? It's about keeping you alive. She stared at him. Who are you afraid of? Min-jae looked down at the access card. My own family. The words hung between them. Soo-yeon slowly shook her head. Your father? I don't know. But you suspect him. I suspect everyone. He took out his phone and made a call. Increase security around the community center. A pause. Not visible. Another pause. And no one approaches Soo-yeon without my permission. He ended the call. Soo-yeon frowned. You can't control my life. I know. Then don't try. He looked at her. I'm not trying to control you. Then what are you doing? I'm trying to make sure you still have a life to control. She had no answer. For the first time, Soo-yeon understood how serious the situation had become. But she still refused to leave him. Instead, she asked, what happens now? Min-jae looked toward the city lights outside the window. Now I find out who wants you gone. The next morning, Soo-yeon returned to the community center. She expected things to feel normal. They weren't. Two unfamiliar men stood across the street. A black sedan had been parked outside since early morning. And someone had left another envelope on the center's front desk. Soo-yeon opened it. Inside was a newspaper clipping. It was an old article about Min-jae's mother. She had died 17 years earlier. The headline read, Billionaire's wife dies. In mysterious car accident. Soo-yeon's face became pale. At the bottom of the article, someone had written, ask him what really happened. She immediately called Min-jae. He answered on the first ring. What happened? I found something. Don't touch it. I already did. What is it? She told him. There was silence. Then Min-jae said quietly, don't tell anyone. Why? Because my mother didn't die in an accident. Soo-yeon froze. What? She was murdered. Min-jae arrived at the community center 20 minutes later. He took Soo-yeon into a private room. My father told everyone it was an accident. Why would he do that? I was 21. My younger sister was 17. He said the truth would destroy the family. Do you believe him? I believed him for years. What changed? Min-jae looked at the newspaper clipping. 3 months ago, I found a financial transfer connected to the night she died. Where did the money go? A security company. Soo-yeon stared at him. Someone paid someone. Yes. To kill her? I don't know. Then why are you certain she was murdered? Because the driver disappeared. Soo-yeon became silent. Min-jae continued. And the police report was changed. By your father? I don't know. You've been investigating him. Yes. And now someone is threatening me because of it. Yes. Soo-yeon looked directly at him. Then I'm involved whether you want me to be or not. He didn't argue, because she was right. That afternoon, Min-jae returned to Kang International. He walked into the executive conference room without warning. His father was already there. So was Director Choi. Min-jae stopped. You. Choi looked nervous. Chairman Kang remained calm. Close the door. Min-jae did. Why is Director Choi here? His father replied. Because you're about to make a serious mistake. What mistake? Destroying your own family. Min-jae laughed bitterly. My family destroyed itself 17 years ago. Chairman Kang's expression changed. You've been investigating your mother's death. Yes. Stop. Why? Because you don't know what you're looking for. Then tell me. Silence. Min-jae stepped forward. Tell me what happened that night. His father looked away. I loved your mother. Then why did she die? I didn't kill her. I didn't ask if you killed her. Chairman Kang looked at his son. I asked you to stop. Min Jae's voice became colder. That sounds like fear. His father slammed his hand against the table. You think you're protecting that woman? Min Jae froze. How do you know about Su Yan? His father's silence answered everything. Min Jae's eyes hardened. You've been watching her. No. Then how do you know her name? Because you're careless. Min Jae walked toward him. If anything happens to her, his father interrupted. Something already has. Min Jae stopped. What? Chairman Kang looked at him. The fire wasn't meant to kill those families. Min Jae's blood ran cold. Then what was it meant to do? His father didn't answer. Director Choi did. It was meant to destroy a document. Min Jae turned. What document? Choi swallowed. The original inspection records. Min Jae's face changed. You knew? Choi nodded. I found them before the fire. Where are they? Choi looked at Chairman Kang. The older man closed his eyes. Tell him. Choi reached into his briefcase. He pulled out a sealed envelope. I kept a copy. Min Jae took it. His hands were shaking. He opened it. Inside were photographs. Inspection reports, bank transfers, names, dates, and one photograph that made Min Jae stop breathing. It showed his mother standing beside a young man. The young man was 21 years old. Min Jae. But the photograph had been taken months before her death. Su Yan wasn't the only person who had discovered something. Someone had discovered a secret about Min Jae himself. A secret he had never been told. That evening, Min Jae went to Su Yan's apartment. She opened the door and immediately knew something was wrong. What happened? He didn't answer. He handed her the photograph. She stared at it. That's you. Yes, who took this? I don't know. She turned the photograph over. There was a date. Then she noticed something else, a handwritten message. He isn't the man you think he is. Su Yan looked at Min Jae. What does this mean? I don't know. You do. I swear I don't. She studied his face. For the first time, she wondered if there was something about Min Jae's past that even he didn't know. Then she noticed a small detail in the photograph, a bracelet. The woman standing beside young Min Jae was wearing it. Su Yan's eyes widened. I've seen that before. Where? She turned toward her bedroom. My mother has one. Min Jae stared at her. What? My mother. She hurried into the bedroom and returned with an old photograph. She placed it beside Min Jae's photograph. The bracelet was identical. Min Jae looked at the two photographs. His face went completely pale. Your mother? What? What's her name? Han Mi-suk. He stepped backwards. Su Yan looked confused. Why? Min Jae's voice was barely audible. Because that was my mother's closest friend. Su Yan froze. My mother knew your mother? And you never knew? No. Then her phone rang. Unknown number. Su Yan answered. No one spoke. Then a distorted voice whispered, now you know why he can never love you. The call ended. Min Jae took the phone from her hand. His eyes filled with fury. But before he could speak, another message appeared. A photograph. Su Yan opened it. It showed her mother, standing beside Min Jae's father. And behind them was a little boy. Min Jae stared at the image. The boy looked familiar. Too familiar. Su Yan slowly turned toward him. Min Jae. He couldn't move, because the boy in the photograph wasn't him. It was his younger brother, a brother everyone had believed died at birth. And suddenly, 17 years of secrets began collapsing at once. Min Jae stared at the photograph. The little boy standing beside his father was unmistakably his younger brother. His brother, whom everyone had told him had died 17 years ago. His hands began to shake. That's impossible. Su Yan looked at him. Who is he? My brother. But you said he died. That's what I was told. A terrible silence filled the room. Then Su Yan's mother, Han Mi-suk, walked through the bedroom door. She had heard everything. Her face went pale when she saw the photograph. Where did you get that? Su Yan turned. Mom, You know them? Mi-suk slowly sat down. I've known that family for more than 30 years. Min-jae stepped forward. Did my mother know you? Mi-suk looked at him with tears in her eyes. Your mother was my best friend. Then tell me the truth. She closed her eyes. Your brother didn't die. Min-jae stopped breathing. What? He was taken. By whom? Your father. Su-yan covered her mouth. Min-jae's face hardened. Why? Because your father believed your brother was not his biological son. The room became completely silent. Mi-suk continued. Your mother discovered the truth. She wanted to leave with both of you. She planned to expose everything. What happened? Your father found out. Min-jae's voice trembled. And my mother? She was killed. The words destroyed the last piece of certainty Min-jae had carried for 17 years. Where is my brother? Mi-suk looked at Su-yeon. I don't know. Then another voice came from the doorway. I do. Everyone turned. Chairman Kong stood there. Min-jae's father had followed them. 2 security guards stood behind him. Min-jae stepped between him and Su-yeon. You lied to me. His father looked exhausted. I protected you. You murdered my mother. I didn't. Then tell me what happened. Chairman Kang's eyes filled with tears. Your mother was going to expose a criminal organization operating inside our company. Min-jae stared at him. What organization? The people who controlled our construction contracts. They bribed officials. They falsified inspections. They threatened anyone who tried to stop them. And my mother found them? Yes. Then who killed her? Chairman Kang looked down. Director Choi's father. Min-jae froze. Choi? Your mother discovered everything. Choi's father arranged the accident. Then why did you hide it? Because they threatened you and your brother. Min-jae's anger didn't disappear. You could have told me. I was afraid. You let me believe my mother abandoned us. I thought keeping you alive was more important than the truth. Min-jae's eyes filled with tears. And my brother? His father looked at him. He's alive. Su-yeon stepped forward. Where? Chairman Kang reached into his coat and pulled out an old photograph. Canada. Min-jae stared at it. His name is Daniel. He doesn't know who he is? No. He thinks his parents died? Yes. Min-jae couldn't speak. 17 years. His brother had been alive for 17 years, and he had spent all those years believing he was alone. 3 weeks later, Min-jae flew to Canada. Su-yeon went with him. They found Daniel living in a small town outside Vancouver. He was 26. He worked at a local auto repair shop. He had no idea that he was the missing son of one of South Korea's wealthiest families. When Min-jae first saw him, he couldn't move. Daniel looked at him. Can I help you? Min-jae smiled through tears. I'm your brother. Daniel stared at him. What? Min-jae handed him the photograph. Daniel looked at the little boy standing beside him. Then he looked at Min-jae. I don't understand. You don't have to understand everything today. Min-jae's voice broke. I've spent 17 years believing you were dead. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. And I spent 17 years wondering why no one came looking for me. Min-jae stepped forward. I came now. Daniel didn't move. Then slowly, he opened his arms. The 2 brothers embraced. And for the first time since their mother's death, Min-jae cried without trying to hide it. Su-yeon stood nearby, wiping tears from her eyes. Daniel eventually looked at her. Who is she? Min-jae looked towards Su-yeon. For once, he didn't hesitate. She's the woman who taught me that money isn't everything. Daniel smiled. Sounds important. She is. Su-yeon looked away shyly. When they returned to Seoul, Min-jae did something no one expected. He publicly exposed the corruption inside Kang International. He released the financial records, the falsified inspections, the bribery payments, the evidence surrounding his mother's death. The executives involved were arrested. Chairman Kang resigned from the company, and Min-jae refused to protect anyone simply because they carried the Kang name. The company survived. But Min-jae changed. He sold several luxury properties. He closed unnecessary private facilities. and he created a foundation in his mother's name. Its first project was rebuilding the apartment complex where the fire had happened, not as a luxury development, as affordable housing for families who needed it. Su Yeon continued working at the community center. Min Jae continued visiting. But things between them were different now. One evening, months later, Min Jae arrived at the center carrying 2 paper bags. Su Yeon looked at him. "What did you bring?" "Dinner." "For everyone?" He smiled. "No." She raised an eyebrow. "Then who?" "You." She laughed. "You finally learned not to arrive empty-handed." "I learned quickly." "That's debatable." He handed her one of the bags. Inside was her favorite meal. She looked at him. "You remembered. I remember everything about you." She became quiet. Min Jae took a breath. There was no expensive restaurant, no diamond necklace, no luxury car waiting outside, no business proposal. Just 2 people standing in an ordinary community center. "I spent most of my life believing that if I wanted something badly enough, I could buy it." Su Yeon listened. "I thought success meant having enough money that nobody could ever say no to me." He smiled sadly. "Then I met you." She looked into his eyes. "You were the first person who didn't care what I owned, because I cared who you were." "I know." And he took a small breath. "I don't want to buy your love." Su Yeon's eyes became glossy. "I don't want to impress you." He stepped closer. "I just want the chance to stand beside you." She smiled. "That's different. Is that a yes?" She looked at him for a long moment. Then she reached for his hand. "It's a yes." Min Jae smiled, not the confident smile of the billionaire whose name could open any door. It was the simple smile of a man who had finally received something money could never purchase. Months later, Min Jae and Su Yeon stood together outside the newly rebuilt community center. Children ran through the courtyard. Elderly residents sat beneath the trees. Ji-hoon, now wearing a medical school scholarship uniform, ran toward them. "Mr. Kang," Min Jae laughed. "What? Look!" Ji-hoon held up a letter. "I got accepted." Su Yeon hugged him. Min Jae smiled proudly. "Dr. Ji-hoon, one day, then I'll make sure you have the best hospital." Ji-hoon shook his head. "No." Min Jae looked surprised. Ji-hoon grinned. "I'll build it myself." Everyone laughed. Across the street, Daniel watched his brother with a smile. Min Jae looked around. The woman he loved was beside him. His brother was alive. His mother's name had finally been cleared. The families from the fire had homes again. And for the first time in his life, he didn't feel the need to own anything more. He simply held Su Yeon's hand. She looked up at him. "What are you thinking?" He smiled. "That I spent my whole life trying to buy everything. And now? Now I finally understand." She waited. He squeezed her hand gently. "I already have everything I need." We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. Your one subscription means so much to us. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your small support makes a big difference.